So I wanted to just do a full video instead of just talking about random stuff, just about whenever it comes up, and a compilation of really just times that I feel like it's tough to be getting over everything that's going on with so much adversity when you're in this situation. And to make that sound easier to understand, I just mean it's really been tough. It's been harder than it should be. It's already ridiculously hard to work through the stuff that I'm going through. But I guess it's made even harder just by people, and I know I've made it harder on myself. And so I just kind of wanted to touch on that, and also touch on the adversity, but also the supportive people and how that really helps. So that if you are going through something, or ever do, maybe you'd recognize who are gonna help you and whose words and actions or whatever are just gonna drag you down or slow your progress, and things you can't control and you have to just expect to come with things. And I will say that obviously by me choosing to do these videos, that I'm increasing the amount of adversity and the amount of drama around my situation. And I knew that when I did it, but I do want to say that I've told you guys my reasons of why I started doing these videos, but I really want to clarify that these are not these are not with the purpose of pointing out what other people did to me, that's what they did to me. It's just me describing what I'm going through as I'm going through it, talking through my issues. Maybe you've been through something similar, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with earlier videos when I disclose how I'm now trying to avoid using people's names, just trying to figure out what to do with those stories, since they're already made, but and I can't really remake, I mean I can remake them, but it's not going to be the same emphasis, so trying to figure out what to do with that. But I really just want to be able to describe to you guys what what has been helping and what hasn't been helping in relation to other people, not to what I've been doing. And so this one might be a little longer, and I have a feeling it's going to take me a lot longer than one day to talk about it, but I think it's going to be over a few days. So something I think that can make and break your success, it's not the only thing, but it's definitely something that can, like I said, make or break your recovery, is other people, which should not have an effect on you being able to be okay with yourself, yet it does. And yeah, everyone should strive to love themselves and to despite what anybody says, whether people love them, hate them, whatever, and be independent and blah blah blah. But in the end, when you're in a place where you, even if you're just really sad, or you have depression, or you have anxiety, or you have OCD, or you just went through a breakup, or you just lost someone close to you, or you just lost someone not close to you, or you experienced something tragic, or you were traumatized, or you're suffering from other mental illness, no matter what, those big shocks in your life cause a profound not just emotional reaction, but physical reaction for your body, that people don't really realize. And I think that the most important thing when encountering this is being able to accept that it is something you have and not to deny it. I've always known that I get anxious and I have depression in my family, but I didn't know that it's a disease. I thought that people just get depressed, and that's actually not true. People get sad or really sad, but they don't just get depressed. Depression is a disease, and anxiety, and actually major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder are very, very, very common, and sometimes you'd never know you would have it. Honestly, you may not even know until you like go in and say, I'm really depressed, so help me. But what's tough about it is if you're in denial, like that first step is you definitely need to move forward and be able to even if it's the worst thing, even if you have multiple personality disorder, even if you have dissociative personality disorder, which I'm pretty sure those are very similar. Even if you were bipolar, even if you were schizophrenic, no matter what it is, I think that no matter how severe, it's very important that you accept that I have a mental illness. I can't deny it. I need to move forward and be able to figure life out. And what a lot of people, like, I've heard say is like, you were handling your life fine before, but the thing is that first of all, a lot of mental illnesses, and when I say mental illness, like, it doesn't have to be some crazy severe thing that people would notice. It could simply be having anxiety and no one would notice, or it could simply be being depressed and you're just sad at home or something. Like, no one would, like, it doesn't mean people would notice. I was diagnosed bipolar, but it was a misdiagnosis, and so we're figuring out what I actually have, which is really anxiety and depression and OCD and ADD, which are all very, very common things. But for me, like, what was really important was to just say, okay, I'm not perfect, never thought I was, I knew I had something, and it's best to realize this. Even when I was misdiagnosed, like, it's better for me to accept that I have that and to try to figure out how to get better than to continually deny it. So that's like the first step for me, that I think that anybody who even thinks that they are going through something, actually, first step is you need to, like, evaluate your life and, like, see if you have signs. If you if your stomach gets kind of like sick feeling when you're doing something new or you're nervous, if you tap your foot a lot, if you babble and babble and babble, and if your mind, like, at night, it takes you like an hour to fall asleep at night, you can't just fall asleep unless you're completely exhausted, like, are minor signs that were some of my signs. And so, like, definitely, even if you don't think you have anything severe, like, I would say it's definitely worth checking out. And with that, accepting what you have. And from that, it's really important to find support, and that is a therapist and a psychiatrist. Well, at least a therapist. Psychiatrist, if you are struggling with something that needs to be medicated, like ADD, ADHD, depression and anxiety, can all be medicated, but also don't necessarily always need to be. But you need to find a therapist that really fits you, because my childhood, like, had therapists and I hated them and I wouldn't go. And I was lucky enough that when everything happened and I left school, the first therapist I went to here, like, I love her. And you need to find someone that you're comfortable and you, like, want to share with, and you don't want to, like, censor things, and you don't feel like you need to. I don't censor anything, because the first thing she told me was she watches Orange is the New Black. So I just let loose, put my shoes up on the couch. Sometimes she has candy, except for I don't like chocolate, but I eat the Baby Ruths anyways. But that's the first level of support you definitely need to have. And then I think besides having your therapist as your support, I think that the next most important thing is to your surrounding like support system that is normally like your family and close friends, or boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband, kids, that they need to understand that like this isn't something to judge, this isn't something for their input, for them to ridicule you, to boss you. This is something for them to be there, to understand that you are going through something. You didn't choose to have this. You didn't like choose this. And I think that is the next most important thing. And I'm still struggling with that, with my family being fully supportive, with them not doubting or being so concerned that I slept in or that I was doing something and stuff. So the hardest thing to control, I think, are the people that aren't like your family and your very close, like, knit circle, and how they react or how they interpret. And it is really hard to just shut out like what they're saying and what's going on, but you know, like, that plays a huge part in the recovery process, because when I'm trying to recover and trying to get better, it's almost like I'm more vulnerable in I guess it's like I'm more vulnerable in what others think about me, because I'm focusing more on like this, strictly like trying to understand what's going on, trying to be okay with it, trying to find the right things that you're just going through so much that you don't have that safeguard up towards other people. And but you do make rash decisions, and you do say dumb things and do things that people don't understand or that you would regret. But instead of understanding that you don't have that safeguard up, that you are very raw and vulnerable and you're going through something, people just tend to nag and nag and nag, or turn around and make fun of, or it's just so weird how we always think that like life isn't like the movies. But the more that this has been going on for me, the more I've seen that it is like I've never seen people like make fun of people or gang up like they have to me. And I'm not saying that like, I'm not saying I deserve it, but I'm not saying that it's not like a valid, like something someone normally would judge. And I'm not saying that my actions have been perfect at all, or even close to. They haven't even been good. But like either way, I wish that people, and if you are watching this and you have someone close to you that's going through something, or you just like have to understand that when someone's going through something like this, they aren't thinking about how they need to be acting around other people, towards other people. They're thinking about, like, I'm thinking about what I need to do to survive each day, what I need to do to strengthen myself, what I need to do to feel whole, what I need to do to stay healthy, to maintain the right habits. That's what like people in my situation are focusing on. And a lot of people in my situation aren't in the right mind to even sit down and talk about what's going on with them. Most people in my situation can't even like say what they're feeling. They just feel it. And so it's very, very hard. That's one of the reasons I want to talk, I want to share, because I've been told that like it's good that I know how to like verbalize what I'm feeling and what's going on with me. And that's why I want to share it. But it's just hard to explain how, I don't know, it's kind of like with a little kid when you tell them not to do something, or like when they're really little and they don't understand what you're telling them to do or not do, and so they keep doing it. And you're like, no, you don't understand, you can't do that. And it's kind of like that. People are telling me to like act a certain way, or judging me for the way I'm acting, but it's not, that part of my like brain is just not available to be focusing on that right now. And I'm not trying to excuse when I've made mistakes, but it's almost like the more people realize that I'm going through something, the more they judge or analyze every mistake I make. And I'm not gonna act like I'm healthy, and I am not. And that's the thing that I think is so hard. And it's like you have this whole huge battle with yourself and with your mind. It's like legitimately my mind is a separate being from my body, is what it feels like, and they're just battling. Or if it's like my mind is split into different people, it's like the angel and the devil is like, you're trying to convince yourself that these are just your thoughts, that you're okay, but then you get all the negative, negative, negative. And you're already having this internal battle that is probably the hardest thing you'll ever go through. And then other people are putting up this front of this other battle you have to be going through that makes your attention and your energy not able to battle this personal one. And so it's incredibly, incredibly hard. And then you just break down and lash out and things like that. And it's just, I wish there was a way for me to say something or to do something. But at this point, people, like, in my situation, there really isn't anyone who takes what's happening to me seriously. And I know that I can't force people to think something. And I know that, like, if you look at things I've said or actions, like, that a lot of it's going to look a certain way. But I'm genuinely here to talk through my own issues so I don't have to think about certain people anymore. So I don't have to care about them. So I don't have to have this emotional heart and hurt constantly. So I can find friends who support me, challenge me, have fun with me, take care of me, let me talk to me, are vulnerable with me too, treat me like a human. Because that's honestly one of the like most like heart-wrenching things, is that, and I've had to like, it's kind of like, I've noticed that like you go to a nursing home, you go to a special needs place, you know you're there with people and you feel bad for them and you're trying to help them, but the same way you're almost, and you're not making fun of them, but you're almost there and you almost are treating them like they're not equal to you. And the thing is just how different you are from them is how different you are from the person next to you. Every person is so different. Every person is going through some kind of thing. And some people may not even know it. And some people may not be going through it yet, or may have gone through it in the past. Like, everybody's going to go through something. And it's just so, like, it hurts so badly that just because I've have this chemical imbalance, this disease in my brain that I can't control, that I can't just get rid of, it's not curable, that I didn't make it show up, but was triggered and is now apparent because it starts in young adults. And it's from my dad's side of the family, it's from my mom's side, like, it runs through the family. Just because I have this chemical imbalance, this disease, that I'm less human than anybody else. And I know there are ways you can look at somebody, and I don't want somebody to look at me and be disgusted. I don't want someone to look at me and think I'm crazy. I don't even want someone to look at me and pity me. I want someone to look at me and know I'm just a human going through something, and know that I'm just like, I'm your equal. I'm just, I guess, have slowed down my path so I can strengthen it along the way. And so, like, that's honestly one of the hardest things that I don't even know how to share, because people say, like, anybody can change the world, anybody can do something big, but, like, I don't feel like there's a way for me to be able to get out, like, there's no way for me to change someone else's mind. No way. There's not even honestly a way for me to change my own mind. Things just, like, it just happens, is what I think. And I just wish that people were more considerate, and honestly just makes me feel bad for them, feel bad for the people who are, like, on here judging it or saying, oh my gosh, have you seen this? Or, like, laughing at it or whatever. Because it just means that, like, there's something flawed in their emotions and in their heart, that they're covering something. And I pray that, like, people can be more loving and caring. And this is the whole reason that our world is so screwed up.
Say a command.
What? The car is talking to me. I think this is the whole reason our world is messed up, because people are not willing to just, like, understand, and, like, understand that everyone's different, but understand we all have similarities and we're all the same, but we're all different. We're all the same because we're different. It's just tough. So I guess all I can really do is try as hard as I can to not let it affect or change me. I mean, the more I spend time with some of my older friends, the more people, sorry, they're rolling in the trash cans, if you can hear that. The more people, I guess, see that I'm, like, not like this insane psycho that they're talking about. I even had a few friends that were like, I don't really know you, but I don't know why people don't like you. You seem chill. And I do think that 110% I've changed a ton. You can ask the people who are really close to me, and see how I've changed, especially in the past 6 months since I came home. I've changed beyond measure, but I'm not there yet. But I guess all I can do to face the adversity is to not let it change me, and to not let it distract me from my goals and stop me from getting better and spreading the word, I guess. All I can really say is that maybe you could spread it with me if there's someone you know that's criticizing or judging someone else. So I guess that if you are watching this to actually watch it, which I don't know if any of you are, but actually I'm pretty sure some of you are, but and you experience maybe somebody, not even about me, but, like, talking down on someone who's going through something hard, or someone who's struggling with some mental issues, or really any issues, please, like, say something, or just at the least don't be the person that does that. Because, like, what if one day, this is how I feel. I definitely judge someone who went through something mental, and honestly, it was kind of weird because she went through it and got the complete opposite reaction I did. Everyone treated her so well, was like there for her and everything, and I don't know, I feel the complete opposite. But I guess I did judge that, and then I went through something, and so it's like, I'm digging this Brahms music. Just be considerate and put yourself in their shoes. Like, for me, like, how would you be feeling if you were going through anxiety and depression, if you had no money left, if you had a really bad breakup, if you don't really know if you really have any friends, if you don't, your dad isn't alive, if you just, like, go on, if your dream college didn't work out, if you just, like, put yourself in someone else's shoes before you judge them for how they're feeling, because, like, honestly, there's no way to control your feelings. I think there's a way to direct them, but, like, especially initial feelings, like, I don't think you can control that. You can hide them, fake them, but it just would mean a lot if you could just think about that and think about all the hard times that people do go through. Because honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that most of the people I know go through anything just because of how they're treating me based on, like, what I've been through or what I'm going through, because I'm not through it at all. I don't know if I will be. Because, like, the only reason I say that is because, like, after going through this, if I saw someone else going through it, like, I could not treat them that way. So, just please be considerate and think. But on another note, I want to thank those of you who have been messaging me and reaching out to me and praying for me and have been really supportive, because I've talked a lot about the people who haven't been, but I don't want to, like, dumb down or, like, make it less important and less special, the people who have been there, and even the people who simply have been Snapchatting me, or have texted me and called me, or sent me really nice messages, or asked to spend time with me, and stood up for me. And honestly, some of the people who have been some of the least expecting people who I'm now really good friends with, and I really want to thank those people. And I want to thank, specifically, there was one person who you would never expect, like, who this isn't something she normally, like, she doesn't normally just break down into her deep emotional thoughts, but she really, really told me how much she cared and was praying for me and that I'd get through it, and I really want to thank you. You know who you are. And I want to thank, like, my best friend for not giving up on me even when I say things that are dumb or say things that aren't mine to say. And I want to thank those of you who were my friends 2 years ago, or I guess 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago now, and have been there to, like, regain our friendships, and have like asked if I'm okay when I'm crying or something. I think that's super awesome. And I just really want to thank the people who have been there. it just is beyond words how special you've been for me, and I don't know how to thank you guys enough. So this is my cute papa bringing in groceries from Brahms. Oh, he's talking.
Just the end.
And his hair on his visor's fake.
The end piece of it. I assume it's something.
It's not coming in. Guys, my lips have been so dry because dry mouth is like can be a side effect for psychotropic medications, but it's so dry.
Bye.
Hey, Papa,
Yeah.
take your visor off.
What?
Show them your hair.
Show my mom. What are you doing with that?
It's for my vlog.
Oh, God.
Say hi.
Hi from the bald guy.